And we are back in the yard with Liza the Alaskan Malamute and TJ the Golden Retriever for our midday exercise. And no coordination with Liza. How is TJ? Not much better. Topic of today's talk will be continuation of last one, where I talk about TJ and his experiences with our cats. And today I will talk about Liza's experiences and more, not in general, but one major event, and that is how she suffered her greatest injury so far, and hopefully that will never happen again. She found her hammer toy, one of 3. Yeah, and I have to participate because this is the most fun for her. And TJ is just waiting for Liza to stop bothering me so he can have his balls thrown. Back to the story. Liza was never afraid of cats, like TJ. And for the first, let's say, year, they were on quite friendly terms. They would get along, but it was how you can say that, if she saw them running away from her, she would chase them. But if they were standing still, lying, she would just come near to them. TJ pridan puchasi. She would just came near to them and just basically sniff them around. Liza is in the groove with her toy. The next exercise, yeah, pridna. So yeah, back to the story. Liza would interact with the cats with no problem. Then when she was 5 months old, one day, basically it was in the almost the same as in the same month, so in April 2 years ago, we went, Liza. Yeah, it is okay, pridan. We went outside. In that time we were still training, potty training, and basically every 2 hours we have to go out. So she would make number 1 relief. But at that particular day, just as I opened our front door of the house, she saw one of our cats. I think it was Mickey, which is the youngest and so the most fit. And she, of course, started to chase her. And basically, they both ran around that corner and this corner, and I don't know what happened to the cat. Basically Liza, basically she made it away, but Liza wasn't so fortunate. While she was running, she managed to tear off one of her one of her claws. It was, I think, on her left paw, and she managed to completely tore it off. Yeah. I was outside with her, and basically I didn't notice anything. She didn't scream, yelp, or anything like that, and she was walking relatively normally. But then I noticed that there were blood droplets on the floor here on the yard, and they were getting much bigger. And then I realized that they are from Liza. TJ Puchasi. I tried to examine her paw, but she wouldn't let me. Well, at first she let me, and I touched her paw and her injured finger, if I can call it like that. And that was the first time that Liza cried out, yelped in pain, and took off from me. And then I spent almost an hour before I managed to get her. TJ, de pa la popučas. Before I managed to get her, because in her mind I was causing the pain when I touched her injured paw. The blood started, well, there was not a lot of blood, and the claw, it's not a claw, but fingernail, or what is the correct word for the canine? Well, nail. Okay, I will call it nail. It was completely gone. The blood stopped running quite quickly. I just used some disinfectant to clean the wound and patched it up. But because it was not looking fine, next day in the morning we went to see our local vet. They basically said that they can't do anything much more for her except to clean it once again and redress the wound, and that happened. So I will try to find some photos of her when she was bandaged up. Later, basically for first 3 to 4 days, she was not so mobile as before, but then she got used to it, and of course started to run around the house, even with the bandage on. The worst problem with that, it was because it was April, so we have one day of nice sunny weather, and the next day we can have a major rainstorm, major rain and or storm, and this was making a lot of problems for us because the bandage needed to stay clean and not wet, so basically we had to keep it dry. So every time that we went out, we didn't went for walks but just around the house, I had to put double layer of plastic bags to prevent TJ, to prevent any moisture or rainwater to get into the bandage. But of course Liza didn't care and was just running around with the bandage on and those two plastic bags on her leg. Because of that, and because she was also non-stop running around, there was of course residual moisture, sweat in the bandage. So instead of 1 week of the bandage, we had to go redress it twice more. So basically, she had it on bandage for basically 3 weeks before the wound. Liza. Before the wound healed, basically. The scar, that scab formed and the wound was closed. Yep. And so that was the worst injury so far of LizaTheMalamute, who is right now pulling like crazy. Spusti, pridna. So this is it for today. Please let me know if you had any similar experiences with your dogs, and especially what did you do in your case. Thank you very much and goodbye.